I'm Jay.
I'm Adrian.
And together we are the
Two Crazy Cat Ladies.
I'm gonna cut you.
I think I just peed.
Buckle up. We're back in the closet.
Welcome to another episode of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. We are joined by one of our new favorite people that we have yet to introduce to you guys on our podcast. Kara with Raw Paw Adventures.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me.
We're making hearts or for everyone listening, what we're doing right now. If you don't have a Mac, it won't do it. But it's a thing that...
Oh, I don't have a Mac. That's so sad.
It's a Mac thing. You know.
Well, reason to go out and buy a Mac, I guess. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean...
Oh my gosh.
You tonight, this is so fun to introduce you. I know you know lots of people in our community already. And tonight we're really focusing on the fact that while Dental Health Awareness Month is over, it does not mean
that we should not be aware of our pets' dental health.
Continue the awareness and the advocacy to deal with this terrible epidemic. So we are going to be talking about that tonight, and we are so excited to have you here. Your experience, you have such an awesome background. You are doing incredible things in this world.
I don't even know how you do everything that you do. Like you were like steady busy. We're always seeing like new interviews that you have with like some of the top names in the pet health industry. And we're like, how does she even have the time to do all this stuff? So
lack of sleep and sheer force of will.
There you go.
Sheer force. Sounds lovely.
Okay.
For anyone that's just meeting you for the first time, can you share a little bit about your background and how you got into Raw Paw Adventures and all that?
Yeah, for sure. So it's been a decade now that I've been working in conventional healthcare. I'm a nurse practitioner. So I worked in critical care almost all of my career, either ER or ICU while I was an RN, and then again now as a nurse practitioner. And I never thought that I would leave the conventional medicine realm. Emergency medicine excites me. You know, that kind of thrill of not knowing what was going to walk in the door. I never thought there was anything different, save for my grandma Jane when I was a little kid, who I thought was kooky because she would, drink chamomile tea and put lavender essential oil on her pillow. And as I got older and kind of got more entrenched in the conventional world, that just became what was normal. Then I adopted a dog, and the love of my life, 0 brain cells, but very lovable. And he developed pancreatitis, and there was no good reason for it. None of the usual things corresponded. He never got into the grease trap. He didn't eat a big steak off the table, and nobody could give me an answer. And all the conventional treatments in the world would not make him better. And for 5 years, this dog suffered from chronic pancreatitis. I never knew when he was going to have a flare. I was afraid to travel. He would have, flares, and I would watch him suffer, and it was really heartbreaking. And so then I got another dog, and he had severe allergies. Then I met my husband, and his dog had chronic diarrhea and anxiety. And then my kitty, I have 3, but my orange boy, who I call my tiny tumor because he's my Velcro cat, he would bark 4 or 5 times a week. And all of a sudden I was surrounded by all these animals who I loved so much, but all had chronic illnesses. And I was like, this can't be right. I'm doing everything right. And so I fell into the deep, dark hole of the internet, and I came across feeding raw food. And I said, well, that's nuts. I'm not going to do that. So I started cooking food. And after a while, after only maybe like 2 weeks of cooking food, I went, well, this is nuts. I'm not doing this anymore because there's not enough time in the day. So one day I just put a plate of raw chicken down in front of my dogs, and I said, go at it. And I never went back. Now I've refined my technique a little bit, just a little bit. But once I realized what an important aspect, truly the most foundational aspect of health, nutrition is, everything changed, and I never went back. I became certified as a canine nutritionist. I decided to get certified as a holistic pet health coach, and that led me to actually start doing my functional medicine program for people. So now I do functional medicine for people, holistic health for animals, and really just kind of combine it all into promoting a natural and holistic lifestyle. So that was, my earbuds keep falling out. So that was kind of the gist of how I got here. It's like most of us, all thanks to my animals.
Yeah. And the animals,
And the
what did you see? What kind of changes did you see changing that diet up?
Yeah, so 5 years, Copper had recurrent pancreatitis. He's been a raw fed dog for 3 years now, and he has not had a pancreatitis flare one single time.
Wow.
And this guy couldn't go more than a few months, and it's been 3 years. He gained 15 pounds. He looks amazing. He used to be skin and bones. I won't say that he really has a better attention span, because I think that has more to do with his lack of brain cells. But, he has more energy, and he runs around like a goofy deer / puppy. And, he looks great. Bear, my golden retriever, his environmental allergies, well, his food, which are not allergies, right? We know those are actually sensitivities. Those are all resolved now that his leaky gut is resolved, now that he's not eating kibble or processed feed. His environmental allergies, which are now very, very mild, are completely managed and controlled by a full spectrum hemp extract. And it is the only thing that he gets. So no more Apoquil, no more Cytopoint for him.
Wow.
My husband's dog, Piper, who is laying next to me, curled into the cutest little ball, like a cinnamon raisin bagel, because she's brindle. No more diarrhea. She's a lot happier. I can just tell. And my kitty, my hairball kitty, no more of that. The vomiting has stopped, unless I go out of town, because then he anxious vomits. But that's something a little bit different.
We all understand that. Yeah. We all get that.
I anxious vomit when I'm.
That's what we have this for, the feline calm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your tiny tumor. I love it.
Tiny tumor is my favorite.
Was it a hard sell? Was this lifestyle change a hard sell for your husband?
It was at first. He was like, you really want to do all of this? Is it really that big of a deal? And then once he started seeing the differences, he was sold. It took a little bit more to get him sold on his own health, being a little bit more holistic with his own health, cutting out the regular laundry detergents and getting rid of the artificial fragrance candles, and swapping them out for pure beeswax candles. And I make my own laundry detergent now. I make my own cleaning supplies now. The only thing I can't sell them on is dish soap. So if you guys have a good dish soap, send it my way, please.
Is he a Dawn fan?
No, we don't use Dawn. We've settled for, I think, Dr. Bronner's, but it's just, I've tried making many of my own, and it just doesn't suds up enough for him. And he's like,
yeah.
if this is where you're going to draw the line, I will give this one to you.
Right. Yeah. The suds are a thing. The suds are a thing for me too. I like to see the suds, even though like we know all the actual science, like we know that the suds are not something that is, it's all in their head, just like the smells. I was like your husband, and it was like, I had to use little steps to get rid of those baby steps, to get rid of those candles, and to get rid, to get rid of the cleaner. I mean, it started with the floor cleaners, right? Like I was obsessed with Super Wet Jet, and like, it's what I wanted for every, and so I was like, I have to get rid of that. And then it was, like little step by step until we're much better. And honestly, still, our hairspray, for instance, still have yet to find a hairspray that's not full of chemicals in it. So yeah, if anybody knows how to get my hair to stay up without.
Kim Mosley is here in the comments. I feel like it's been forever.
Hey, Kim.
Wow. And she said she gives a vote for 7th generation.
Yeah, there are a few brands. They are expensive.
Yeah.
The thing, but
I don't care. I'll pay the money for a better product for sure.
Well, okay, so quick question before we go into the subject matter of today, because I'm just loving this get to know you portion of it. Have you been able to cut back on any hours in the ER with all the other stuff that you're doing now?
So I currently work in the ICU. How'd that feel there? Okay, we got a little doggy cough going on. I currently work in the ICU, and it is still full-time. That being said, I can say that I actually officially gave my notice at work. I'm going to be done in July, and I'm going to be moving 100% into the functional realm. So,
wow!
Oh my God! Congratulations!
Yeah. So still work full-time, but the end is in sight.
Yay! There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
That's incredible. Wonderful. Oh, your humans are going to miss you, though.
I know. That's all right. Well, I'm still going to do functional stuff for people, but it'll be I think down the line, it depends. One day, my own practice, I think. But for now, we'll see where life takes me. It's time to turn off the beaten path and start that journey.
Make some changes.
I love it.
Okay, so I want to shout out here to Instagram. We're live streaming. We don't normally live stream our podcast on Instagram, but we are. Go over and hit follow on Raw Paw Adventures. Link is in the it's probably not in the description on Instagram. So Raw Paw Adventures, very easy. Go hit a follow, and then come over to like YouTube, because we're doing a giveaway in this podcast today, and we're going to give away a couple of things, and we're very excited about it. But because of the platform that we're on, you have to be, in order to comment in the correct place to be entered to win, you got to be on YouTube or Facebook. So whichever one's easier to go to, Two Crazy Cat Ladies, the YouTube Crazy Cat Ladies, go over there.
Hey, Zorro.
Or here or wherever.
Sorry, we've got a cat after a cat.
It's fine. It's fine. They'll be fine, ZB. It's fine.
So far, only one of my cats has made an appearance. I'm surprised that Tiny Tumor's not around, but I do have Goose.
Goose
is 15. He's my grumpy grandpa.
Oh my God, he's gorgeous.
He's literally looking at me like, "Are you serious right now?" He's so grumpy. And Goose is a part of the reason why I do all of this, because he's old, but he is still spry like a kitten. You should see him get the zoomies. He runs around like a psychopath. He's super chatty because he's a Himalayan, and we all know how the Siamese cats like to talk. And everything that I can do to keep this cat young and healthy and having fun and just living his most vibrant life is totally worth, all of the time, all of the learning. Anything that's more difficult, it's worth it, because I know it's healthier in the end.
Yes, amen.
That's a very good perspective to have.
Okay, so speaking of cats, we're, like Jay said, we're going to be doing a giveaway, you guys. So be prepared for that. Facebook and YouTube is where you need to be. And Kara is also going to be offering a free course to everyone here tonight as well, and we will get into that in a moment. Before we jump into that, though, let's talk about your experience with dental health, with your own.
Yeah. So this guy, the Goose, he had to have 3 teeth removed. And that ended up being because of resorption issues. But he had horrendous teeth. And as a matter of fact, all 3 of my cats got a dental cleaning last year. Luckily, he's the only one that needed to have. You look like a stuffed animal. You don't even look real right now. He's the only one who had to have anything taken out. And, luckily, he's got none of the canines had to come. Oh, you can't. I know. We can't see. He's purring. None of the canines had to come out, so I'm grateful for that. And it was only one of the molars. The rest of them were smaller teeth, so that's important for chewing. But they had to have dentals because, and I am not ashamed to say, I never one time in my cat's life ever thought about brushing their teeth.
No,
never was the subject. No, who did? Well, I think my husband's home. The vet doesn't tell us about that, right? My vets never did. I never had friends or family who had brushed their cat's teeth. I never thought about it. And of course, I remember growing up on those commercials that would say, crunching on kibble cleans your animal's teeth. I'm going to mute myself until my husband comes in the door. It's all you guys.
That's true, though.
But it is, it's actually still a myth that we get on a regular basis in our community, where the vet is the one that has told the client that they need to feed their cats kibble because it is what will clean their teeth. And if they feed only wet food, then they're going to end up with dental issues.
I think the important statistic, that myth, I mean, if you just want to look at the common sense of it, 90% of our cats, by the time they are 7 years old, will have some kind of dental disease. And if kibble was the solution, that statistic.
Yeah, because over 93% of cats are still fed a dry food diet, according to the Pet Food Institute. Right. So if it were really actually cleaning teeth, then we would be like, there would not be an epidemic of dental disease in cats. That's just, I mean, the common sense of it. Yeah. Also, the amount of starches and carbs within kibble, you cannot feed a kibble with all those starches and carbs and expect the teeth to be clean. Like that's
exactly.
Because we all know that starches and carbs are what create
that product placement.
Yeah, we got one.
Anybody want
I know, because we're about to talk about it, right? So I wanted it to be closer to the camera for the people who are watching. But no, you're absolutely right. The carbs are going to stick to the teeth. That crunching is a complete myth, and to be honest, it's a bold-faced lie, and I think it's absolute bull that they're allowed to say that kind of crap on the internet and on TV. But I think that Emily, so for those of you who don't know, the founder of and the formulator for Teeth Health, which is what we're going to be giving away today, and by we, I mean the amazing Jane Adrian, she has, I think, an even scarier statistic on her website that says by the age of, I think, three. Yeah. I mean, 80% of cats by the age of 3 are going to have some amount of dental disease, and that is so heartbreaking. And we never even think about doing anything about it. It's just the norm. And I think we're just here to change that narrative.
I mean the narrative has to be changed in order for cat parents to not have to deal with this this epidemic, right? Like for us, it was the same thing, right? So we meet everybody where they're at. We're not like, hey, stupid, you need to brush your cat's teeth. Hey, dummy, we didn't know until our cats, until we found our cat's rotted out tooth, canine, in our bed. And we were like, what is this? And we had no idea that that he was in pain. We had no idea, he had no idea that dental health was even a thing, that we needed to even take them to the vet and have their teeth checked. We did not know any of this until we see this. And then we're like, oh my God, their teeth can fall out. Is that normal? What is happening?
I want to give Deanna here in the comments said there's no way my cats would let me brush their teeth. We have some of those. How would you even do that? The good news is there is an awesome resource. We were just talking about it right offline before we jumped on. RYER, RYER makes a cat specific toothbrush. But better than that, because they're like, great, we got a tool that's great for cats, but how do you do it? Their content on their page, you can just follow RYER Cat.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
website.
They provide a really awesome foundation for how to get your cat used to it. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take
training,
a commitment.
Really,
for you, more than your cat.
And they have amazing content. Like their videos are so cute. They just did Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's right.
What did they just do? And Riley was on, and he was there
of Shark Tank.
Yeah. And they were doing them. They were brushing his little teeth, and I love their name too. It's the three of their cats combined. I can't remember. It's Riley, Henry, and I can't remember the third one. But that's how they came up with the name, which I think is so precious.
I forget too.
Oh no, I know the information's out there. Go to their website. But yeah, they're really amazing. And I do have one of their toothbrushes, and I will do it sporadically, but it takes 2. We have to burrito everybody.
Right.
And we go really slow because I don't like to cause kitty anxiety. And usually at most I manage to get the front teeth and the canines. There is no getting back to the molars for me. And so that's why I think having some kind of additive in addition to a species appropriate diet is super beneficial for our cats, because they just don't like you putting things in their mouth. They're just, most of them don't tolerate it.
They really don't. So I think let's talk about that a little bit. What do you see as the difference? Like, what are some of your favorite at-home things, like fresh food diet, that you can do to stay on top of dental health? What have you seen?
How does that work? Like how, like we say, a fresh food diet helps the dental health too. How does a fresh food diet, how does any diet actually help dental health?
For sure. So, I mean, in terms of resources, one more thing I will say that I think is excellent. If anybody's getting kind of scared away from the toothbrush idea because you want to keep your fingertips, RYER Cat also on their website has Silvervine sticks, and we love those. And I had a few in this room, but I suspect they ended up in the dog's toy bin recently, so I don't have any to show you.
That's so funny that you say that, because I literally, I just picked up, like, I don't know how many that we had just around the house this week. and put them in the cat's toy bin.
Yeah.
So they're downstairs
They
right now,
love
but
them.
they love them.
Yes, they go crazy for them. And I know that the ones that Wirecat sells are top of the line, so they're fantastic. And you guys have them too, right? Don't you sell them?
We do not.
You
know.
don't. I lied. I'm a liar.
Yeah, we get them from Wirecat. That's where we get
Okay,
them.
excellent. Great.
So can you explain a little bit about how that works? How does the silver vine stick help dental health?
Yeah, well, so I know that like the fibers that are on there can help with cleaning. So it has like the like tighter rope kind of portion in the middle, yeah, with the vine, and then the tufts at the end, those sticks, and then they will like chomp and chew on them, and it helps to be like abrasive, and it's all non-toxic materials, which is really excellent. And don't quote me, but I think they're kind of impregnated with something that make the kitties really attracted to them, right? Is it
Silver vine.
So it's like a smell. It's just the silver?
Silver vine. Yeah. So silver vine is much like catnip, right? So, but the studies show that I think only 50% of cats react to catnip, but like 70 or 80 react to silver vine. So, so silver vine is what they use to really attract. Like it's like catnip.
Cool.
It's an herb.
Well, that explains why my cats go cuckoo for them.
Yeah. Yes.
But in terms of food, the most important thing that you can do is feed a species appropriate diet. And that means everything you feed, right? So your main meal, your treats, anything, there's no point in feeding your cat 100% beautiful, fresh food diet and then giving them temptations or greenies. Like, don't do that. Just don't do that. But the carbohydrate content is probably the biggest part of all of this. And all of the grains and the corn and the potatoes and legumes and crap fillers that are in kibble, aside from the fact that it's not even human grade, it's terrible industrial feed grade human waste product.
Yep.
It's so high in carbs, which cats can't even digest appropriately as carnivores, right? They're obligate carnivores. They need meat in their diet.
Yep.
They don't have the right digestive pathways. And in particular, what's a big problem is they don't make salivary amylase. So there is no breaking down of carbohydrates in the mouth. So you crunch on a potato chip as a human, which I will admit is a weakness of mine. And that potato chip, you could just put it against your cheek and put your tongue, and it's going to dissolve into a pile of mush over, maybe 20 minutes or so. It's going to dissolve into nothing because you have amylase, an enzyme in your saliva that breaks down carbs right in your mouth. You don't even need to swallow them. Cats and dogs do not. And so that will sit there stuck to their teeth and gums forever. And there's nothing bacteria loves more than sugar and carbs. So you're just creating a smorgasbord for all the bacteria in the mouth, and that leads to dental disease.
That is actually the best. I really literally one of the best explanations of how food helps or actually hurts, our cat's teeth. Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big deal, though. I mean, I think there's a lot of us that probably know about that. Cats don't produce amylase; they have no biological requirement for carbohydrates. But the way that you just explained that with the disintegrating potato chip, that is,
there's nothing to break it down in the mouth. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they can't break it down in the pancreas, but in the mouth itself. We're still, we're just building it up. It's kind of like, us as humans. And when you think about starches and carbs, what do they convert to? Right. Yeah. So when you think about us as humans, what do your dentists say? Don't eat too many sweets. You don't want to eat sweets, right? Because the sweets actually contribute to dental disease in humans, right? Because of that buildup and whatnot that's going on by eating too many sweets. And with our cats, it's those carbs, right? They're not going to be eating chocolate and ice cream and all kinds of stuff like that. I know we're going to get comments that are like, my cat loves ice cream.
I know, right? I mean, my cat does love ice cream, but that doesn't mean I'm going to feed it to him.
Right, exactly.
So I see a lot of people commenting about how their cats won't touch silver vine or they like catnip. Oh, hi, baby. But I think, thinking about food, what are your thoughts on, so for sure, a fresh food diet is going to have those amino acids, going to be good for the microbiome of the mouth, right? It's going to help with that. What are your thoughts on raw meaty bones, duck necks, things are you a fan?
Huge fan. So this guy next to me, if anybody is watching, this is Bear. And I will say that Bear, probably part of the reason why he has such clean teeth as a dog is because of his raw meaty bone consumption. He is he'll gulp down anything, but if I give him a big chew, he'll lay there and he'll be gnawing on it for a while. And that's really beneficial. And it's not just for dogs. Cats also can benefit from raw meaty bones.
Yep.
I think one of the frustrating things though with kitties is it can be really hard and you have to be very patient if you want to try and convince them to eat raw meaty bones. I will admit, we are not there yet. I've gotten a few freeze-dried quail legs and some air-dried chicken wing tips, but I still haven't been able to convince any of my three to do raw meaty bones. And I'm going to keep trying. I will never give up. But that chewing is very beneficial for them. Not like kibble, which just disintegrates and sticks to the teeth, but the actual true abrasive nature of my cat chewing on the cardboard box next to me, like he just needed to prove me wrong and say, I like to chew on things, just not raw meaty bones. Hey,
no,
stop.
this one loves. He has like 10 million views on TikTok from biting into the. He like marks every cardboard box. He loves the feel of it on his teeth, and he clamps all the way in around a cardboard box.
Yeah.
We got a video of it. Some ASMR posted it on TikTok a few years ago, and like it was like 10 million views. It blew up. Everybody.
It's so funny. Literally, as soon as I started talking about chewing on bones, I just heard the distinctive cardboard crunch. I have a box of Glacier Peaks next to my computer, and he's going at it. But yes, if you can get your cat to chew on raw meaty bones or air dried or freeze dried meaty bones, I think that can be really, really beneficial because that's the true abrasive nature of chewing on a species appropriate food. It's all protein and fat, and it is going to help actually scrape the teeth, and it is good for the gums. So that really abrasive action does help our kitties.
Yeah. And that is why you don't see this epidemic in like zoo animals who are fed raw meaty bone, right? Like they don't have the same epidemic that are house babies. Which they're not domestic, right? They're still 95.6% DNA exact to a Siberian tiger, right? So we kind of eat what the Siberian tiger does as well, and like kind of let's play that way. It's okay.
Oh my goodness, these babies. Okay, so let's get back to.
It's always so hard to do. I mean, it's normal for us now. It should be. Right. But to go live when you have all the animals around, but we're normally live with other people who have other animals around and they have to mute themselves because the dog's barking or the cat's on you,
I totally get it. I have a cat circling right now because he desperately wants to come on my lap, but he doesn't want to walk past my golden retriever. So like, I'm just waiting for the camera to shake because he's going to jump up from the back any second.
He's going to get there. Okay. So let's talk about, because we're going to be doing this giveaway and I'm so excited for it. This is one of the most exciting products that we have seen that is it's proactive, it's preventative, it is incredible, and it has all to do with the microbiome of the mouth. Yes. And when Dr. Emily Stein when we first met, I just remember being floored. I had heard Rita Hogan say health begins in the mouth. The mouth is a gateway to health. Yeah. It's all so much about the health of the gut microbiome.
Yeah, that's what we all talk about, right? Because it's so important.
It's a separate
humans. We understand now that the health, health begins in the gut, right? Like that's just kind of this statement that we're all, because if you have a healthy gut, but it actually starts in the mouth, right? Because whatever it doesn't get to the gut without going through the mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, every part of you, really, right? Your mouth, the skin, our cats, all the females have a vaginal microbiome, everything, urinary microbiome, your lungs have their own microbiome. It's everywhere. But you're right. When we're talking about GI health, under no circumstance can you exclude oral health because your mouth is part of the digestive tract. Right.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And another thing that just never even occurred to us, like until this product came out, thinking about something that specifically helps to keep the oral microbiome healthy.
Yeah.
And that impact that it has, not just on the teeth, but the health of the gums, what's going on with the teeth.
And Dr. Emily is just amazing, the maker and scientist behind Tea for Life. We were talking to her on the phone today, and she's the
Oh.
biggest nerd, and she'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to nerd out on you," and we're like, "No,
yes.
go, please."
You're
please.
like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you do."
Let's hear the nerd.
Wait, is this your tiny tumor?
This is Tiny Tumor. This is Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
Are you mad now? You're like, why are you touching me? Yes, he's named for Oliver and Company because I'm a big Disney fan. And he just is always attached to me. He lays here at night and often drools in my ear. It's disgusting.
Oh.
So yeah, that's just our life. It's just our
Well,
life.
it's very important for his microbiome of his mouth to be.
Yes.
He's going to be drooling in your
Yes.
ear.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have frequent exchanges of microbes in this house. So,
Yes.
But speaking of microbes, another really cool thing to be a huge nerd here that this product does for you, which is why I think of all of them that exist, this one is so incredibly beneficial, is people probably don't think about the fact that our microbes affect our cravings. So depending on the composition of the microbes in our mouth and our gut, that actually will tell us what we want to eat. And so when you have microbes that are being fed a high carbohydrate diet, they start to crave more carbs. And so our kitties that are really struggling with that carb addiction, as we all know they do, if you are trying to transition them to fresh food and you have a product like this, you could start applying this maybe to the dry food or the canned food that you're giving to start working on changing the composition of that oral microbiome to help with the cravings and the food transition resistance, which we frequently see with cats. And so it's really cool because the way this technology works is it actually starts to force the microbes in the mouth into living off of a more keto diet. Instead of eating carbs, it eats the fat, and that will completely change the composition, which I think is absolutely fascinating.
Oh my God, Kara, that is brilliant. I didn't even think about how that would work.
And this is a perfect segue into your free course that you have. It's Back to the Basics, Fresh Feeding. This is free till the end of March, correct?
Oh, I put it in the chat, but I think it says it's a private chat.
Oh, put it in the other one.
I'm in the wrong one, guys. No wonder I couldn't see what anybody was saying.
Bring it on over.
I can't. It's because I'm not connected to YouTube.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
This is
but yes,
because I know that you're a canine nutritionist. So there's a lot of stuff in here that's really geared towards dogs, but this is really beneficial. I saw someone asking, I think who was saying, how can I get my cat? My cat will not transition over to a fresh food diet. I'm not sure if who mentioned it, but I saw that comment fly by. This course, break it down a little bit. What this course?
Yeah. So I will say, technically, it's more geared towards just dogs, right? So it's called Back to the Basics, Transition Your Dog to Fresh Food. So the one thing I don't go into in this course is how to transition to kitty. That being said, I actually have a blog article that I made a while back that's on my website, rawpawadventures.com/blog. And you'll find it. It's all about transitioning cats to fresh food. And I share my own experience, which was not seamless, guys. It took me almost a year to get my cats onto fresh food from kibble and canned. And I just never gave up. So I share my story there and I share some tips for you there. But the course really lays those nutritional foundation kind of basics that I think everybody needs. And the majority of what I talk about on there applies to cats. So we talk about the macros. What is protein? What is fat? What are carbs? Do we need them at all? What do they actually give to you? Because remember, that's what our bodies are made out of, right? As nutrients. We quite literally are what we eat. And the same is the same is true for our dogs and our cats. So I talk about your macros, why they're important, a little bit about water, which is also very important. Rita Hogan echoes that frequently. And then we also talk about micronutrients. So what are the vitamins that we need to provide to them in the diet? What are the minerals that are so important to them? I do talk about the importance of cats and taurine, which is one very distinct difference between kitties and dogs. Cats have to have taurine provided to them in the diet. They cannot make it out of other amino acids like our dogs can, which is why it's so important to remember that cats are carnivores because we mostly find taurine in meat sources. Yes. So we talk about that. I talk about DIY. So I have a whole section about what do you need to DIY? How can you prepare yourself to DIY? What are your components for DIY? And then I actually just made a whole meal prep video that I'm going to share on the course shortly. I'm actually going to put it up at the end of the month as a bonus. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
this
yeah.
is
So
really helpful because
I just filmed it.
We've been getting questions in the comments about like, what do you mean raw food? Like, how would you feed that? Is that raw chicken, raw beef? Like, what do you mean? So this free course is going to break that down for you and show somebody who maybe, I mean, there are many, just to say out there, there are many companies that make pre-made raw diets for our cats, right? And you can purchase those at a store or online, you know, the different places where it's already made for you. So you don't have to make it at home and make sure that it's balanced, because balance is important. But if you are, when we were on a budget, when we first started, and we were like, there's just no way we can afford this. We have to start doing DIY to feed our cats the foods that they need to eat. And so we were following other people's recipes that were already balanced. And so you're going to break it down and show people like how to go about DIYing and what to expect and all of that in this course. And right.
I love that you make it simple. So it's 4 simple lessons. And so even, you know, if this is something that you guys are just like, I really want to understand this a little bit more. Like, I was freaked out about eating raw food. I told Jay she was going to kill our cats. And I really felt that strongly at the time.
I also was terrified. I shit you not. When I put that plate of raw food down in front of my dogs, I had to physically restrain myself from running and picking it back up. My lifetime in healthcare told me that this was absolutely going to kill my dogs. I was like, they're going to get salmonella or listeria. They're going to die tragically. They're going to puncture, their GI tract, like all of the things that the internet scares you about, and that you just have to let it happen. Like it's going to be okay.
Our cat, just for reassurance for anyone that is considering switching over to a raw diet and still hesitant about that. All of our current cats right now, 7 years, their birthday is on Sunday, and they will be 7 years, 5 years, and 2 years old. And they have been on raw since they were 6 weeks old when we got them, right? They have been a raw fed cat, and they are, as you see, healthy. They still have zoomies and knock over and like, destroy the house at times. And sure, like they still are cats, but they're
complete psychos.
Yeah, they're
that kind of cat. Yeah. And you know, it's never too late too, right? So yours have been raw fed since they were kittens. This guy right here, Goose, are you about to turn 16? I didn't transition him until he was 13. You know, so I mean, it took a long time, but we did it. And it's never too late. He was the hardest. Yeah, he got stuck on cooked for a long time, and then I was happy. Actually, I was happy to accept that. I was like, I will take cooked. It is fresh. You're 13, 14. You do whatever the hell you want. You're a grandpa. And then one day he just decided, he was like, yeah, I'm ready. And
that's cool.
Well, that proves the study too that they did, I think, over in Japan or
it was the EU. Yeah,
the EU, where they gave cats a choice over time to eat something that was more palatable, something that they really liked,
like fish, and
right,
chicken.
to something that was actually more nutritionally complete for a cat. And over time, all the cats would choose it. We just never know how long it will take.
Yeah, not always.
Right.
So the funny thing about our transition is before we had any of these cats, we transitioned to raw. And when our oldest at the time was 18 years old. Yeah. And he was the reason, because they said his kidney levels are going up. And I was like, we've got to finally make this change. He took 1 week, and it was probably would have taken 2 days if we would have been like, well, we need to slow.
Yeah.
And no loose stool, no digestive upset, no.
1 week, oldest cat, and like old man, we thought he was going to be the hardest. He was the easiest. The others were also except for our youngest at the time, who was 7, and he was the handful. It took us. He was the kibble addict. It was a very slow transition, and it took 6 months probably, I mean, more like a year or two to go completely just raw. Like we still mixed in wet food with the raw for a long time, which is fine if that's as far as you can get there. It honestly,
better than nothing.
It wasn't until COVID really, when COVID hit, that we were always just taking, you know, a spoonful of raw and put it in all 6 cats meals, like one spoonful and mix it between all 6 cats with the raw, right? But it was just like we were addicted, or we thought that they were addicted to that smell of the wet food. So that's what we were. And then when COVID hit, they you know, and you couldn't get
the canned food,
the pet food, the store shut down, the canned food was hard to get, and all that stuff. I was like, sorry guys, you're just gonna get just raw, and they had no problem. And I was like, oh my god, do you know how much money we're gonna save? And you know, if we would have done this a long time ago, how much money we would save, because they had no problem.
Yeah, for sure. I switching to fresh food, a high moisture diet can on its own resolve a lot of medical conditions. I'm just curious, guys, there's some really great questions in the comments section. Will these be up afterwards, or will they disappear?
They'll disappear. So grab them while they're hot.
Okay. So a couple of things I think are a great idea to answer. So somebody said, how come vets don't recommend a raw diet? That is a very loaded question. And the simple answer to that is they're taught in school that it's kibble or nothing. And unfortunately, that dates back to the 1940s to 50s when kibble started becoming mainstream and got created. And it went from how can we help animals get supplemented with food because of a shortage to holy cow, this is a cash cow. How can we make sure this cart keeps on rolling? And it just kind of really got entrenched in marketing and in schools. And it's just how our conventional veterinarians are taught. That being said, if you follow some of our holistic vets in this community, like Dr. Judy Morgan and Dr. Karen Becker, and there's just so many of them, and they will tell you that raw is 100% the way to go for cats. And most of them also will say the same about dogs, or at least just say fresh food for our pets. And so it's just about kind of breaking out of the norm and putting those prejudices and assumptions behind you that you maybe were taught when you were younger. And that can be really hard for a lot of our vets. But once they come to that realization and they do some of their own nutrition education, they tend to come around. So,
yes,
so true. And I think that they, you know, so often these beautiful holistic or integrative veterinarians were conventionally trained, and they've shared the nutrition course usually taught by a big brand food company or sponsored that one nutrition course that they took. So I think this is really where the more knowledge that we have, the bigger bridge that we can build between fresh food and conventional medicine, because it is a game changer, like you said, with the issues at the top of this show that you were dealing with: pancreatitis, chronic diarrhea, the hairballs, switching up the food. You got to see so many of those things resolve.
Yeah, I feel like it's, I feel like I think that we need to stop expecting our veterinarians to be nutritionists. We need to, and we need to take that part into our own hands, right? Like we don't need to ask our vet what to feed unless it is a vet that we, you know,
that will not see our cat if they're fed raw food.
And then you see another vet, and then you go to another vet.
Right.
But yeah, like we can't, they didn't get enough nutrition courses to be a nutritionist. So, and you know, and they're the tiny to little to no nutrition courses that they get in vet school. So we can't be mad at them for not knowing what to feed, but we can't also expect them to know any better. So we have to know what, you know, our cat's body's.
Great reminder. We've dropped the link in here. Go check out Kara's free course just for some foundational information.
Yes.
It is awesome. And you're just an incredible resource, you know, on your channel and everywhere else. And this is, I know we're talking about dental health and how incredible it is, and how this can, I love that segue into this course, because as Kara was saying, our giveaway product tonight, Teeth for Life, Teeth for Cats.
It's a 30-day supply, get you started.
This can actually help with that transition process by helping the microbes in the mouth. So Jay's got it. Is it there? Jay's got it. To enter to win, you just have to go to the comments and type hashtag Raw Paw.
But you have to be, again, you have to be on YouTube or Facebook to do this, right? So for anybody on Instagram, come on over to Facebook or YouTube in order to enter to win. We're going to be giving away this plus a tell a little bit about what else. Yes.
So I'm also going to offer a free consultation. So I do offer 1 hour long consultations to people. Normally the cost is $175. This is going to be completely free. So it is part of the giveaway. So you get a consult with me, and it doesn't have to be about your cat. It can be about your dog. Either is fine. And we will talk about anything you want. If you just want to talk about nutrition, that's totally fine. If you have an animal with a specific medical condition and you're looking for advice, also fine. So what we'll do is for the winner, we'll have you connect with me. Actually, guys, how are they going to, how do we get their info once they win?
So we'll just have whoever we're about to do the drawing. So
the
draw ring. So so everybody, Facebook, YouTube, enter in hashtag Raw Paw. And we're gonna. I see more and more coming in. So we'll wait a second so we get everybody entered. And then we'll just have you email us at info@twocrazycatladies.com your information so we can send this out and Kara can reach out to you.
Excellent. And you know what I just realized while everybody's putting their raw paws in there? We didn't explain how to use this product.
Got it.
Yeah, so I'll show you. I'll show you. So it comes, there's a little container in here, and oh no, my scooper fell down in there. There we go. So it's got a little scooper, and it's just a powder. It's hard to see. But look at this teeny tiny little scooper. It's the size of my pinky nail. It's really small. And what you do is you just take a scoop and you add it to water, or you can add it to food, because we all know that our kitties are not lovers of water, right? They should be deriving the majority of their moisture content from the food itself. And so if you have a cat that does not like to drink water, you can actually sprinkle it right into the food and mix it in, and it will still get on their teeth, because cats do chew a little bit, unlike most dogs who just shovel things back and don't chew at all. Kitties do chew a little. Yeah. So
and Stein talks about how the tongue is such a valuable reservoir for this, which is why putting it in their water is excellent. Putting it on their food is excellent. And it's about the frequency. So the more, the better as far as getting your little ones.
Right. It's interesting because when we started putting it in the water and in the food, but we started putting it in the water. And our cat, so our one cat, Zorro, he is literally the first 6 years of his life, we never saw him drink water. We were like he would not drink water. And
but he's a purist. He only eats.
But he will only eat raw food. He won't eat anything like processed. The cats in the afternoon for a snack, they'll get wet food and he won't touch it. Yeah. If it's cooked, he won't touch it. He is a purist. But as soon as we started putting the teeth in the water, now he drinks water. And it's very interesting that it attracted, for him at least, it attracted him to the water. I took a video
because we had never seen him drink water. I was like, I don't know if I should be freaking out right now. Or
you were like, do I get blood work? Like, what's happening? I don't know.
No, right.
But it's almost like he knew that it was something that's beneficial. It's really incredible.
And Gail rubbing it on the teeth is also great. I would say probably the best of the best if you're one of those 2,17,000 pet parents, cat parents, and you can put teeth on one of those Ryer cat toothbrushes and brush all of your cat and brush all of their teeth. That's gonna be you're gonna be the best of the best.
And I mix mine with cocoa therapy coconut oil. So that's how I make toothpaste. I take a little sprinkle of this, I mix it with a little teaspoon of cocoa therapy coconut oil, and that's what I brush all the dog's teeth with, and on occasion when I'm feeling brave.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. So
all right. So let's do a giveaway.
Do it.
Again, if you're on Instagram and you want to enter to win, come over to YouTube or Facebook. We've got about 30 seconds.
And this, I forgot, Kara, that you're doing a consultation. I have to say, as far as consultations go, for an hour, $175 is that's very helpful. So I love that the winner gets one of these and a free hour-long consultation. With
Kara. How exciting is that? Okay, guys, we've got 31 entries. I just want one more person to enter because my favorite number is 32.
It is. My favorite number is 42. We're so close.
That's so interesting.
Guys.
That's so
Why is your favorite number 32?
I don't know. It's been since I was like a kid. Yeah. Since I was a kid. I have no idea. Okay.
One more.
Fine.
One more. Come on, you guys. Drop it like it's
it's fine. It's fine. Let's go with 31. That was my basketball number, so that works. That's fine. All right. And the winner of the Raw Paw goes to...
Oh, I love all these familiar names. I love you guys.
Dang, Becca
Ruiz.
All right.
Yeah, Becca.
Go, Becca.
Congratulations, Becca, on Facebook. You are the winner of the giveaway here for a 30-day supply of teeth plus a 1-hour consultation with Tara. So please shoot us an email at info@twocrazycatladies.com. info@twocrazycatladies.com. And we will get your prize sent out, and Carol will be in touch with you.
Yes. And don't forget to sign up with my course, guys. You have, I think, less than a week now, right? There's 5 days left in the month. So 5 more days.
I saw someone say, do we need a code for it or anything?
Nope, totally free.
Sign it up. Yep.
That's on there. It's totally free. Get your nutrition basics under your belt. Save the videos. Go back and listen to them later. It's a resource that you'll have forever, and it applies to both dogs and cats. Just hop over to my blog to actually read about food transition for kitties. That's all.
Oh my goodness. You are the best. You're seriously the best, and you're changing the world. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast and for doing this. We're having this great idea for the giveaway today.
Thanks for having me on. This was a really fun time. Cats fighting, dogs barking. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly.
Keep it real.
Exactly. All right, guys. Next week, we will be live with Dr. Linda Loudon talking about urinary blockages in cats. And she's going to be giving us her feline cystitis protocol for our kitties, and kind of diving a little bit deeper into how to prevent these and what causes these urinary blockages in cats. So don't miss Back in the Closet with Two Crazy Cat Ladies next week.
With
Same
Dr.
time, same
Linda
place
Loudon.
with Dr.
Kara,
Linda Loudon.
Thank you for your tireless work. Thank you for being a rock star. Thank you for, being the change. You're awesome.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We will see you all soon.
Love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Good night.